Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter @ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing our weekly local marketing industry update. I just want to give a shout out to everybody today for our national holiday. Hint, hint. Got a really good call for you guys today. We're going over a couple of some really interesting things. I've got a very thick 22 pages of notes that I want to fly through, and I try to fly through it in 20 minutes, so we'll see what we'll be able to do. But I've got some really good stuff, so hang tight, listen up, sit back, grab yourself a pen and paper. You're going to want to do this. You're also going to want to get the recording of this and listen to it probably a little throughout, because there's, like I say, we got some good stuff. So today what we're covering, just some basic changes, as search changes, on how Google changes and whatnot. That's kind of leading up to some industry data that I'm going to share with you in regards to forecasts for online advertising spend for small businesses. You got to assume that across in other countries. Let's see who else we have on the line. If we got anybody else out of the country live on the line right now. Nope. Not that I can see. Efren should be showing up. He's our Canadian, and Nick, he's our New Zealander, and most of the Aussies and New Zealanders typically listen to the recordings, but sometimes we can pull them out of bed and get them on the line a little bit early. So in terms of, and finally, the last thing that I'm going to spend some time talking about is BrightLocals annual local citation survey. In other words, what BrightLocal does is they go out and ask a whole bunch of people, what are the factors that are involved in ranking businesses on the internet? And everybody throws in their 2 cents. So I'll share my opinions and thoughts all about that. But as far as forecast information goes, this is coming from search engine land and an organization called Borrell Associates. This is what the business does. They're a local media forecaster. And what we're looking at is the totality of digital marketing spend for U.S. businesses. So these are SMBs in the United States, small and medium businesses. Those are businesses less than 250 employees. So what they are dishing out on digital marketing services. Now, if all digital marketing services combined, all digital marketing, so this is AdWords, this is email, this is SEO, web development, today in 2016, you are looking at a $600+ billion industry. You heard that. There's not many industries in the United States of America that can say that they are a $600 billion industry and growing. There's a lot of opportunity out there, guys. It is not saturated by any stretch of the imagination. Now, what we do is search marketing. And, we want to get some data and insight into search marketing. Today, search marketing brings in approximately $60 billion in revenue in this country. It's a $60 billion industry. I remember working for a software firm, and we looked at it, and we were measuring our industry in the United States in terms of dozens of millions of dollars. That's not the case. And within the next 4 years, this industry is projected to grow to $80 billion. $80 billion is going to be spent on search marketing services in the United States by 2020. That's phenomenal, guys. When I started in this industry back in 2005, we hadn't even reached, it was $900 million. It was not even $1 billion industry. By 2009, it was only a $10 billion industry. And now we're at over 60 in the last 5 years. And it's going to increase at that exact same rate over the next 5 years. There's opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for people to get rich in this industry if they haven't already, and I know a few. But it comes down to working hard. And, a lot of I spent the last 2.5 years of my agency life looking at a lot of digital spend, putting a lot of what we preach into practice. And interestingly, my successes have not been in the same level that they have been with Local Marketing Source. We're talking about Local Marketing Source selling information online and a marketing agency of mine that sells to small businesses. The ways that we sell information, the way that all these online marketers are teaching us, don't work. They don't work for our industry. And if there's anything that's been a reconfirmation of getting my feet back into the sales floor and getting out there and looking, it's all old school. We're hearing it over and over and over and over and over again. We want to talk to you guys. We get solicited for your service 5 times a week. But we want to talk to you because you made the effort to come in. Cold calling. Nobody likes the cold call. But I feel damn proud walking in to a prospect's office with my book that I created and say, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to solicit. You don't need to worry about that no solicitation sign that's out there. I'm not here to solicit anything. I'm just here to drop off this book that I created. And guess what? I created it for chiropractors because I'm passionate about chiropractors just like you. So can you pass this off to the doctor? Or when you walk in and you actually see the doctor, you're not going to get snubbed down as a salesperson. You're going to get respected as an author. Electronic channels of marketing are there to support. We've got our hybrids. We've got our email autoresponders. We do our online webinars. They're not the end-all be-all. You don't have those relationships. Now, what's interesting, I'll be able to give you a little bit of feedback on how that hybrid works with the activity of offline, but that will be late to see. All right, moving on. BrightLocals. Local citation survey. We're going to go over some of the key takeaways here. And that's, some of these are very obvious. 60% of people say that accurate citations are very important to local search. Yes. Almost 90% say that quality of citations is more important than quantity. Yes. Now, here's something that I don't want to take claim into bringing this into our industry for matters of discussion. I call it theme-related content or industry relevancy. But now we're starting to see this in SEO teachings across the board, and industry relevance is being the most important factor when choosing which citations to use. Now think about this. There's a lot of tools out there that rate the authority of certain directories. Google is going to get 100% out of 100. Facebook maybe 99 out of 100. But chiropractic economics is probably like a 4 out of 100. But yet, with the 1,000 members and whatever, the 5,000 hits that they get a month, that's how these algorithms are ranking these, but they're not taking into consideration the industry relevance. Now experts are coming back and saying that, hey, industry relevance is the most important factor. Well, there's not a single tool that exists out there that does industry relevant citation sources searches. I could probably have that tool developed, but why? Nothing's going to beat manual. So when you're looking for citation sources and you want to find something, you type in their core term and magazine, core term and association, core term and forum, core term and blog. And take the time to sift through each one of those and read whether or not you've got the ability to get content on there. Interestingly, only a third of SEO experts suggest that niche directories offer great authority. But that has more than quintupled over 12 months in terms of those experts. Last year, it was 8%. Correct address formatting on citations is important, but it's becoming less and less important. This I found really interesting. 21% of experts say it's not as relevant anymore. That's good. It's good to consider the NAP consistency and how it should not be as formal as it used to be. Now, rich citations are essential or very important. And the discussion is going to be, what is a rich citation? A press release in a local newspaper, an article about their core competency, a survey, primary data, positive, first-hand information. So having accurate citations for a business is important. So regardless if the brand has 10,000 or 10 locations, the local listings, they need to be accurate and monitored ongoing. So these citations are becoming more and more important as time goes on. Obviously, quality is the biggest factor when involved with these citations, and just like links, it always has been. Quality, relevancy, all that neat stuff. Now, looking at structured citations versus unstructured citations, a structured citation at Local Marketing Source, we call those profiles. And unstructured citations is what we call just citations. Let me explain. A structured citation, which we call a profile or profile sites, are directories, are the Yelps of the world, are those that offer category information and open and close information for a business and list of business information. Those are structured citations. They don't have the same relevancy, in my opinion, as unstructured citations. And this is where it gets confusing, because the difference between an unstructured citation and a structured citation is very different. That's why at Local Marketing Source, when I labeled the discussions of it, we labeled them differently to separate. Citations are a web reference. And so profiles, they're still in theory citations. But what we're looking for is a collection of unstructured citations, those industry associations, the local business groups, local news sites, local blog sites, local schools and colleges, local governments, partners and suppliers, other local businesses. Industry associations are key, and you can develop content and get it published in industry associations and publications very easily. So take all of that with a grain of salt. And I'd like to hear some of your thoughts on all of this. Just when it comes to citations as well, I wanted to cover this a little bit. I mean, we know that the NAP details are really important, but what else helps when we're creating these unstructured citations? Interestingly, only 40% in the survey said that web links are important. Fair enough. But what I do say is that richness is ridiculously important, hugely important. Whether you are talking about categories or website links are the discussions that are the biggest according to this report. But what this report doesn't cover, that I do want to add as the largest relevancy, and it doesn't discuss this, is that business's core competencies, and every business has between 2 and 5 core competencies. Now they label it here as categories. You got to be careful about that because not all business falls into different categories. You deal with dentists or ODs or MDs or DCs, any doctors, and they take care of conditions. There are symptoms to those conditions. And then the activity that that doctor does tends to be their competency. I got cut in the eye, so I go and see an eye doctor. The eye doctor diagnoses me. I do a search. I get some research done about educating myself on a cut, an eye with a cut. I got a sore back. I got into a car accident and I need an attorney. So attorneys, they go to school and they specialize. There's going to be auto accident specialists. There's criminal attorneys. There's civil attorneys, family, divorce, etc. It all goes on. A lot of these sites just have a category of attorney. Great. That's relevant. But getting down beyond their core terms, in my opinion, is the most important aspect, aside from that details, to get that information within your content. If it's in the written content, in the description, in the title. But it's important. The relevancy of growth, it's become more and more important to maintain it steadily and ongoing. That really hasn't changed. And for new clients, the question always comes, how many citations? Now, these are going to be structured citations, not unstructured. So how many are acquired? How many do you aim to get per location in the first 2 months? Interestingly, most of these SEO people have all claimed that they get more citations than what we do. It makes me wonder, are we not doing enough, but we're getting results? We work harder on a lower number of higher quality citations to get results. So take this information with a grain of salt. But we're in the bottom 15% of 0 to 30 citations in the first 60 days. Most people get between 30 and 50 citations in the first 2 months. So the information is split. Experts are split on this, and it's down. There's no real anything that's set in stone. But we don't work on quantity of citations. We work on quality. So if somebody is getting 50 citations a month for a client, holy but Jesus, what are you charging that client? Sorry, I can't deliver 50 citations in a month for $1,000 or $1,500. On average, it costs me about $6 to $7 a profile. Approximately 45 minutes, between 20 and 45 minutes of time, of man time per person. So those are my costs and my time. Let's do a quick calculation here. And 50 in a month times $7 a piece, even if it's 6. Now that's 350. That's $400. Then of course there's the 2 other pillars that we focus in on. I guess that is somewhat manageable, but that's going to be 40 hours of time for somebody in a given month. You know, we do 40 hours worth of man time per client, but only 15 of those hours is spent on citations. 25 is spent elsewhere. I mean, like video content, customer testimonial content, case study content, press releases, the review acquisition program. Every one of those other things that I just named off will give you greater value for SEO than citation building. You get greater relevancy. It is published on authoritative aspects. And the biggest part about it, guys, is those other things resonate with your clients' customers a lot more. A review acquisition system, holy shit, that's something that your client can touch and feel. It's something that they see, something that they launched. I launched a survey today for a client of mine. They're a search marketing client, SEO, and we did a full-blown survey. We're advertising on Facebook. We created ads on Facebook advertising. We sent out an email autoresponder for them. We're driving, you know, they were getting some negative reviews, so we brought, you know, did a little campaign to encourage that. And so far the client today alone has a 2.2 star average on the internet, and we've acquired 5 new reviews in the last 48 hours that are all 5 stars. We didn't solicit for them. We just triggered the survey software that those that left a positive review, a positive survey, asked them if they can share their opinion with somebody on the internet. So the client is ecstatic. How does this benefit me for SEO? A lot of people are going to ask. When you do a survey, this data that I have got primary marketing research for this industry. Well, I'll tell you the industry. It's the taxi industry in Chicagoland. I've got data that doesn't exist. I can write some wicked content about that, about the behaviors. I can turn around and write content on how the business has improved the areas that their clients bitched about. That gives me press release information. Press release content can be published in newspapers. And the local newspapers love local data. Not only all of this is the first time the client did this. We managed to collect, they had over 8,020 emails. We'd never emailed their list before. I am blown away at their open rate. So far, it was sent out at 8:30 this morning. By 4:30, their open rate was 16%. That is really high for a list that has never been nurtured before. I bet we can get the engagement of that email list well over 30% based off of what I know with email marketing for an open rate. The click-through rate of the opens were over 40%. That's unheard of in the information business. I've never received a click-through rate of 40% with local marketing source. We've more than doubled the amount of content that we wanted to collect than what we set forth in our goals. Not only all of that, now all of a sudden, this business has a whole new channel to market with its audience. A whole new way to brand and communicate and get that message out there. Along with that, the messaging that we're bringing along is that of empathy. So I go back to this BrightLocal And we talk about, it talks about search marketing, but no experts. I mean, here in 2016, it says it right on their report. We just asked this question this year. We've never asked this in the past years. And they're questions about industry relevancy, and that blows my mind. It's like if we looked at all of the factors and mapped it out over the last 10 years of SEO, there's a clear trend. And if you look at where that SEO trend is going, where that arrow is going, it's going to straight marketing. It's just real marketing. You can't be an SEO person anymore, guys. You got to be a marketing person. That's it. I'm done. All right, you guys have yourself a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Oh, I'll be back in 30 seconds and answer any questions. All right, Tish has got a question. How do we get into the search marketing industry? How do you get into the search marketing industry? The only way I have an answer for that is get a client. When you have your first client, you have a business. I'm not really sure what you're asking. What publishers are ideal for new book writers and pushers? That's not my core competency, but I use CreateSpace. They're owned by Amazon to publish my book. It's cheap. It cost me $2 and change to get it printed. All right. Have yourself a great week, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week. So if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.